reminders when we're finished here. As always, we can use some help. The coolers, the drinks need to go back down. Well, I guess we can go to the top part of the church and taking out the coolers and the ice dumped. All this stuff, and the chairs have to be taken in. So if you guys will help us out, the quicker we can get that in, and we'll probably have to bring something out and douse the fire because it's not anywhere close to going out, and we don't want to leave it burning all night. So appreciate everybody turning out tonight. Let's open up with a word of prayer, and then I'm going to introduce our speakers. We're going to get right to it tonight. So anybody got a prayer concern? Anybody? All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here under this pavilion. We're out where we can hear the sounds of your creation, and even though it's been a cloudy and even a gloomy day, we're out here tonight, and we've enjoyed the fire, roasting hot dogs and marshmallows. And Lord, I couldn't help but think this will be something that the children of our church will remember in the years to come, and think about how special and how fun it was to be part of a church. We thank you for the food that we've enjoyed. We thank you for this evening, for the fellowship. And I want to thank you for Shane and Emily's willingness to come and share with us, and I just pray that they might be anointed by your Spirit and you would speak through them. Give us open hearts to receive them, and even as they come, just encourage them through our prayers, and we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen. This is our last outdoor service this year. Probably the next one will be in April, so a great way to finish. I remember visiting Shane and Emily Arnold very early in my ministry, and I think Lily was just a babe in arms, maybe even still a glimmer in their eyes. But no, I think she come. And I remember it was way out somewhere. I thought, gosh, I'm never going to get there. But I found them and had a good visit, and didn't dream at that time that they would become such a very important part of our church. I've got to see Lily grow up, and that's a blessing. I think a lot of times on Sunday morning, she's been with me, I believe, the longest of any of our children. And so that really is a blessing. And the longer I've known Shane and Emily, the more I've appreciated who they are, their love for each other, love for their family, their love for the Lord Jesus Christ. I asked them when we had the young adult party at our house if they would consider sharing, and without very little hesitation, they said yes, they would. And so I don't know how they're going to go about it, but Shane and Emily, we're looking forward for y'all to share your story with us. So.
Right, I know. Yeah, so this is something we've never done before, so bear with us. What Brother Barry asked us was, would we speak about our faith walk experience? So I guess first thing, anybody here been on Walk to Emmaus? Okay, cool. Faith walk, any other Fourth Day ministries, Trace Diaz, Chrysalis, anything like that? Faith walk is basically the same thing. So if you've been on those walks, you know what a special experience it is. And just a little something that let me know I was on the right track this morning. This was the theme from my walk. If anybody remembers hymn 404 this morning, it was based on the verse that my walk was based on. So take it away, bearded one.
That's how they know me.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Or JC, as y'all know.
Oh, yeah, there is that
There
too.
is that, yeah. And that was before Faith Walk.
Right?
Yeah, there is Crowder. Yeah, they call him Crowder in the Faith Walk community. If anybody of you are familiar with David Crowder and his music, Google him real quick and look at his picture and go,
There's no glasses.
Fix that. So, yeah, we didn't write an actual speech.
No, not really. Basically, it's basically just a evangelical tool. It's not really tied to any kind of denomination or anything like that. It does kind of help you focus more, I guess, on your walk with God and where the direction you're being felt led to go to.
Mm-hmm. They kind of freak you out at first before you go, because there's a lot of questions that they won't answer. It's not a cult, but if they were to answer your questions, to take your surprise is to take your blessing. If I had known what I was walking into, I would have walked away with half of what I got from it in the end. They don't let you take your phone. You can't have a watch. It's you and it's God. And it is amazing. And when people ask me, well, how would I know if I want to go if that's all you can tell me? This is what I've come up with. The best that I can explain it is if you can imagine getting to visit heaven for a weekend. Faith Walk is the closest that I've come to that. And y'all that have done Emmaus, am I wrong? No. That's kind of nutshell what it's like. I'm sorry, I just started talking about it.
No, that's all right. It's not really intended to repair any kind of, if you're having like a lot of family crisis or something like that, I mean, it's just kind of to help you focus.
It's not a counseling
no,
session.
It's not to say it would not help or anything like that. And we had no idea what any of it was about or anything like that. And then Brother Barry was like, you've been on something similar, and did some research, and I'm like, okay.
And our friends, the Majeris, that may be a little familiar to y'all, or also known as Zoe's parents, have been on Faith Walk, and they encouraged us heavily. And considering the wonderful people that they are, I thought, well, if this is something that helped them become the people that they are, well, I want a part of that. So that was a huge deciding factor, is if I could walk in their footsteps, then maybe I could do something. So mostly all I have to offer is the things that I walked away from Faith Walk with, which were, I noticed that now that I have really seen God up close, I see him everywhere. Everywhere I look, it's like, oh, well, look what my God did right over there. Oh, okay, thank you, Jesus. I see what you're kind of, okay, get over there and do that. And sometimes if I don't listen to the nudge, I get the smack in the back of the head. But before, I never understood where it was coming from. And now that I've seen it, it's so clear. So clear. I also learned, we all hear in church about personal relationships with God. And a lot of us think we have one until we get a better one. That is the only time in my life I've ever heard God speak directly to me. And he said exactly what I needed to hear, exactly at that moment. And it has stuck with me. And that is, whew, I don't know the word. But, yeah, you go ahead.
Well, we all kind of have a hard time valuing others as God values us. And unfortunately, that kind of hinders discipleship sometimes. And that was one of the things that I kind of took away from the experience in general, was like, am I saved? Oh, yeah. My family? Yeah, we're good, right? That's the end of it. It's just kind of, what about everybody else? We all, I don't think any of us just kind of picked up a Bible and said, hey, I'm going to read this, and yeah, this is what I need to do. We were all led by somebody else that, showed us the way, parents, whatever. And you just kind of, need to keep on doing that with everybody else.
Mm-hmm. You do see people differently when you get back, because once you've been completely enveloped in that love and you see people through that lens, because I was always the world's worst about, you want people watch, you like to get snarky, come sit by me, because I'm not gonna lie, that's always been, it's been a thing that my sister and I did as long as I can remember, but I don't do that anymore. I'm like, oh, look at that outfit she's got on. She's rocking that. Not what was she thinking? Because I see her as so much more beautiful now than I would have a year ago. Because I was the queen of snark. Still am. I felt bad. Yeah, I was janky. You are right. I was so janky in my spirit. Probably more than even you did. No, but it helps me handle it better now. I'm not trying to talk.
Well, she does better at talking than I do, so
I have more
usually let you
practice.
do the talking.
So, let's see, what else did we walk away? Well, we walked away better, individually and together as a couple, I feel like.
Yeah, it was really odd. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever actually prayed with my wife. That's, sure, we bless the food, but do you have a problem? Can I help you with something? Where do we take
That's
it?
been a new thing that I've enjoyed
Right.
very much.
And it's not that, I just never thought about it, I guess. I don't know. We just kind of got married and started doing stuff.
Whatever once we did.
Right.
Yeah.
And that always, I'm not like one of those that usually prays out loud anyways. That's just not me. But I kind of realized that maybe you should.
And we're still working on that.
Yeah.
I'm still not very good at it, but I have a tendency to. If you ever notice me oddly rubbing anybody's back, that's what I'm doing. So if you're like, why is that woman pawing at my child? It's because they've touched me, and I love them. I'm praying on them. And you too. You're also like my child in a lot of ways. But, let's see, what else did we take away from it? I've seen a lot of times where I've been used since I get back, and Joanne and I have a joke. I'll call her and be like, I got used today. And she knows what I mean by that. I can see where God took me in this direction and the effect that it had on somebody because of something that I was able to say to them. And, to be able to proudly say that I got used by God is pretty new and cool for me. So, I've had a lot of self-esteem issues in my life, and I feel so worthy now, because I know it doesn't matter if I'm the smartest, if I know all the scriptures. It doesn't matter if I'm qualified for what he's calling me for. If he calls me for it, he will qualify me for it. All I have to do is pray about it, which was another huge takeaway. You can never be told enough how powerful prayer really is. But there's another walk coming up in April, and there are dedicated teams of people that are already praying for each and every believer that is going to go on that walk. And they're going to start being affected by it before they ever sign their name on the roster. They're going to be led to sign their name on that roster. They're going to know that this is where they're meant to be. They're going to know that this is for them. Because each walk is different, and it's different because of the different people that are on it. Because it's set up for what they need when they need it. Wait, I need to jump in there.
That was, I don't really have a whole lot much more material or anything like that. But a lot of this, it was always there. Bible, scriptures, all of that. It just kind of helps you focus a little bit more, basically, on what you should have been focusing on all along. The strength of conviction is, wow. It's like, man, maybe I should have did this more, It's like, I gotta be so hard on me. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that why I found that flower in my car the other day?
Oh, that's because I spent a bunch more money at the store.
I didn't know if it was guilt or conviction. Well, either way. Yeah, we know the truth. Yeah. So, yeah, that's about
That's all I had, really.
right. How about questions from the audience portion? Because we're out of.
We all say before you got married.
He was more so than I was. He had a much stronger Christian background growing up than I did. My mother would flat out say, well, come on, we gotta get up and go to church, because if you don't, those people over there are gonna be like, ooh, the preacher's went to church today. So it was more of a, no, you need to get up and go. Not, we get to get up and go, or we want to get up and go. So he was much further down the path than I was.
I was, but you got the changes you go through when you're like a teenager, and then all of a sudden you wake up somewhere around 25 or something like that. You go, oh, well, was I? You know, I need to go back and hit the books again, because I don't honestly know if I was 100% at that point. I said I was and stuff like that, and everyone says you should know. Well, at 16 years old, you should know a lot of stuff that you don't really know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but by the time we got married, yes.
Yeah. But see, what I discovered when we got ready to have Lily baptized, I had never been baptized. So when Brother Barry baptized her in my arms, he baptized me as well. And I think that was really the beginning of my road, because I kind of expected to be holding her and to feel something for her and to go through the motions for myself. And it was something I could not articulate until that Carrie Underwood song came out. There really was something in the water, because I felt it as it came down over my scalp. It was not, it was unlike anything I had ever felt or experienced or expected to feel or experience. And so that was kind of when I started trudging up the mountain toward where I wanted to be. And I'm still not there yet, but I feel like I'm getting there.
Well, we look around at different churches and stuff like that too, and we knew that the environment we wanted to bring our children up in, and long about the time I think come here a couple of times, talked about it. I said, all right, well, it just fits the environment, the people. I just like the way it's structured.
Well, and you grew up going to a Methodist church.
Yes.
So that was kind of why we said, well, let's go check out a Methodist church. I said, sure, I've never been to one, sounds fun. They have pretty windows, we'll go check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty stained glass windows. I'm like, well, check it out.
And that's, so that's how that happened. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
because I was like, it's
Tell them how you found each other, how you started getting married.
Oh, God. Oh, well, being from, because I was born and raised in Louisiana. Shane was born and raised in Alaska. So about the first year we were married, we were just kind of like,
there's a
what'd you
communication
say?
barrier.
My accent has gotten much better thanks to him. Or y'all would be sitting out here going, what did she say?
It's easier, you can take a one-syllable word and drag it down into like 3. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's called Sprite, okay? It's a drink. It's Sprite. It doesn't have 4
Which
eyes
I still
and a
don't
T.
drink thanks to you. Too afraid to say it. But miraculously, we both ended up living in Memphis at the same time. And he worked for the same company that my sister worked for. And we happened upon each other at a barbecue.
Yeah, Elle's house.
At Al's house, that's right. So I guess we were meant to be together, and we would have never met.
I still don't like putting out to your sister that.
That it was because of her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rub that in my face all the time.
Yeah. Well, no, she tells you that you're the sucker they finally found upon the
They did say that quite a bit. It was kind of scary. I mean, like,
Are the checks still coming?
You're getting checks?
I told your dad paid me off.
That's okay. You spent some of it on my shoe collection, so I'm not going to complain.
Which they did not warn me about.
They could tell you everything they ran.
So yeah, we dated for a while, and then it.
I was still ridiculously young when we got married, though.
Define ridiculously young.
22 going on about 16.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was legal, but mentally I was not. Yeah. But I was the baby of the family and the youngest grandbaby, and so I lived in this little bubble. This very special little bubble. Still like to go back there sometimes.
So we're trying to tell Lily, it's like, just enjoy this.
That's right.
There's nobody knocking on your door wanting electricity bills.
If you get something in the mail, it's fun.
Like something, like a justice.
Yeah, like a justice coupon. That's right.
Justice coupon.
Yep.
American Girl magazines.
We all have our challenges where we work and sharing our faith and feeling comfortable being Christians where we are. You travel all over the country driving a truck. Do you find that to be a challenge, or do you see there are opportunities for you to share your faith with other people while you're out there?
Believe it or not, there's chapels and stuff like that set up at various locations. Unfortunately, most of the time when I drag in at real late at night, I don't have the opportunity to go in there, and there's nobody there. But I do. The environment that I was in when I was working in a shop was a little bit different. All the people that were around me, it's a lot of distractions and stuff like that. I do find it easier now. I carry notes with me, Bible and stuff like that. So when I'm in my bunk at night, that's kind of my quiet time. That's my time where I can sit back and reflect on, what I need to do when I get home and stuff like that. Like waiting with Katie, her favorite restaurant, and stuff like that. So I think it's actually I'm more of like a kind of a solitary type person, so I guess that would be it's a better environment for me traveling around. As far as sharing with other people, it's difficult. It really is. Complete strangers, and you know you're going to run into them for 20 minutes at a gas pump somewhere. You know, you're not going to hang out with them on the weekends or anything like that per se.
But by the same token, the way you treat them in that 20-minute encounter,
I do find myself now, you know, going, why did I just walk past? Yeah, I'm doing great. You know, how are you doing? You know, versus just kind of going, yeah, what's up? You know, kind of, you know, just basically taking the time to talk to people. And you know, you never know when they might be in such a state that just a smile and a hello might make all the difference in the world to somebody that's been stuck in a truck 11 hours.
without that Bible or that family to call them, or
Right.
you never know what somebody's going through when you encounter them.
Yeah, because if you just kind of walk in, hey, have you heard about God? They're going to be like, really? You know, you got to have. It's kind of hard to find a way to introduce yourself and introduce anything like that to somebody that's again going to be at that gas pump or walking across the parking lot for just a few minutes. But I do find myself again, you know, concentrating more on attempting to do that.
From your faith walk, since you've been on that faith walk.
Sure, that would be that. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read the Bible as much as I should have. I really didn't. And you know, just it's not some magic silver bullet or anything like that, but it did make me realize it's like, wait a minute, I was supposed to be doing this all along. You know?
A lot of what he brought home from Faith Walk didn't catch up with him until that week, which was a rough week because the way they structure it, there's a men's walk and then the following weekend is a women's walk. So he went one weekend and then I went the next weekend. And how many times did I call you in tears? They broke him. There's something about, he won't talk to me. He's vacuuming the car at 9:30 at night out in the driveway. I don't know what they did to him, what kind of Kool-Aid they gave him. But it was not good. But then once I got back home, he was like, now you understand I had so much to process, so much to think through and to reevaluate that I could not be there with you without word vomiting it all over you. So it took you, what, good 2 weeks to kind of absorb
I had to
everything
jump
that
right back out on the
happened?
road when I came back. So I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas me, I just walked in.
They
It started getting slapped in the face left and right. Like ugly crying 2 hours into the first day. Yeah, but she was there. She was like, ooh, it was a hot mess.
You're ready to receive.
I think I was much more ready to receive than he was. And some of that may be,
I'm way more hard-headed. I promise you.
there is that, but, you know, like I said, you were already a little bit further along the journey, so you may have had a little bit more of thinking you already were where you needed to be.
Yeah.
Whereas I knew good and darn well I was nowhere near where I needed to be, or even where I wanted to be.
And again, I don't know
I
that.
know. Yeah.
How did you guys find out about it, and how do you sign up for it?
We found out about it through the Majerys, and they came over for a grill out, and the kids were playing, and Daniel looks at Shane and says, I want to talk to you about Faith Walk, and Shane goes, yeah, hold on just a minute, because he had to run to the garage and get like his gloves or something, and he comes back, he goes, I'm sorry, man. Daniel goes, yeah, I'm used to people walking off when I try to talk to him about Faith Walk. And Shane's like, no, I really want to hear about it.
Chicken's
And,
burning, come on.
yeah, within 2 hours that night, we were on our phones signing up. So,
Walk to Emmaus, how do you hear about that?
is it still
Is-
going?
Well, Walk to Emmaus is going strong, and sadly, as many people as we've had, we've really fallen down on the job. There are dozens and dozens of variations that have come from the original Catholic Cursillo and now the Emmaus Walk. Faith Walk actually is a kind of a Baptist flavored walk because they saw so many.
Pentecostal, yeah.
Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they said, because we actually got to hear the guy that started Faith Walk in the Mid-South.
Yeah.
He had been on Trace Diaz.
Okay.
Right.
So it was more, I guess, loosely based on that.
But how do you hear about like the Walk to Emmaus? Does somebody
They
else-
happen at just about the same time. There's one in the fall and one in the
Does somebody
spring.
come-
We have sometimes posted that, and they have a website. And we've got plenty of people that would sponsor anybody that would go. We've had some of our young people go on Christmas a few years. We have not had a couple go on Emmaus for a long time. So we feel kind of bad that we're glad that y'all went, but we feel bad with as many Emmaus as people that someone invited y'all on a faith walk when no one here took the initiative to get you on an Emmaus walk. There is a lot of overlap. I will say a lot of people now have been on a Emmaus walk or supporting the faith walk and vice versa. So there's a lot of interchange between the groups because they are very, very close. Very close.
No. So if you get an opportunity, I would say to go to a faith walk, walk to Emmaus, Trace Diaz, whatever they want to call it. If it's a fourth day ministry that somebody wants to invite you to or sponsor you to go on, pack your bags as fast as you can and run and go. And I can't say enough about, and people will say, oh, it's life changing.
It is, yeah. But
But-
again, it was always there. It just needed to
Yeah.
kind of needed to be woke up a little bit.
But it's one of those things that no matter how many times you're told, you have to go and experience it. So if you're ever given an opportunity to do any one of them, get on the internet and scout around, see when they're doing a sign up for a walk to Emmaus, see what you're required for sponsorship, check into it, and if you're able to do it, I would definitely recommend it.
and bounce it off of Brother Barry, somebody that's kind of knows about the different ones and stuff like that.
Right. I think on the faithwalkjackson.org page, there's a link to all the other ones, Brother Barry, I think Walk to Emmaus, I think there's links to the other 4K ministries where they can research or look at those other walks too that are not necessarily Faith Walk, but part of that. So like the one that Walk to Emmaus that Brother Barry's been on. There's no division lines to it.
Well, isn't it wonderful to hear from a couple that are growing in their faith? And when I think how much Shane and Emily have grown in the Lord, and this was a big jump forward on their faith walk, but they've been in this church and growing for a number of years. And the other thing, when I see this family, they just got cuteness written all over them. The three of them, they're just so cute. And you guys blessed us with sharing tonight, and we just thank y'all so much for being willing I know this was way out of their comfort zone to try to get up and talk.
It was.
And I am thankful, and we appreciate the testimony that y'all have shared. It's been a great night. We don't really have anything else. Again, if we could get some help in getting everything back in, God bless you. Be careful. It's already dark, and let's call it a night.
All right.